Mark this day in your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. It's early April 2026, and a TV icon has been returned after being presumably lost forever. I am, of course, talking about the stolen Clanger Mother puppet returning after 50 years. Oh yeah, and they've put episodes of the Daleks Master Plan in the BBC iPlayer. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mr. TARDIS, and for those of you who didn't understand the joke up top, in the early 1970s, the Clanger Mother puppet was stolen from an exhibition, and a deathbed confession from the culprit resulted in the Mother Clanger being found in an attic in Ireland and has been returned. So yeah, Mother Clanger has been returned, but we're not talking about that today. We are of course talking about the Daleks Master Plan. Episode 1, The Nightmare Begins, and Episode 3, Devil's Planet, have been returned to the BBC after over 60 years, found in an eclectic private collection of somebody who recently passed away who has remained anonymous. And today I'm going to be watching and reacting to the 2 missing episodes, and I think it's only fair that we might as well throw in Day of Armageddon, the first 3 episodes of the Daleks Master Plan. So this takes place after the events of the Mythmakers. The context is that the First Doctor, played by William Hartnell, is travelling with Stephen, played by Peter Purves, who has recently been injured in ancient Greece, and they've recently said goodbye to previous companion Vicky, and they've brought on companion Katerina from ancient Greece. So this is something I am literally watching for the very first time. I understand the audio isn't great because I don't think they've done too much restoration work on these yet. It's still quite early days, and you know, there's no rush to get a Blu-ray release or anything like that, so I'm going to put the subtitles on. So let's check out the Daleks Master Plan Episode 1, The Nightmare Begins. I've never seen this before, obviously, so yeah. So if you're in the UK, you can watch this on BBC iPlayer, and if you're an international viewer, you can watch this on YouTube. Still Bobs. The Nightmare Begins, written by Terry Nation. I can't exactly remember what the cliffhanger was at the ending of Mythmakers, presumably just Stephen being unwell. That's a good shot, having William Hartnell come from the background to the foreground.
Yes, we need a special drug.
Surely you mean gloves, right? Yeah, Katerina thinks that she's like in the afterlife or something. She thinks she's died. The first Nicholas Courtney appearance in Doctor Who, a couple of years before he would become the Brigadier. Hey Winnie, you here to watch the Daleks Master Plan? Oh. Winnie, what do you think of Terry Nation's writing? Not a fan. You know they're villains, 'cause they're bald people. It is a dynamic camera. It is always moving. It never starts where it ends up settling.
Probably crash, so they think. Hey, bring up the sound.
Oh, they are doing a picture-in-picture effect by the looks of it. That's a shame, though. Oh, Kevin Stoney, such a good actor. And I think that his definitive Doctor Who performance is Tobias Vaughan in The Invasion. I mean, he's good here, but oh, this is it is unfortunate. So futuristic. Oh, that's an unfortunately phallic prop. See, that's a nice little detail that you wouldn't really know was happening just from the audio alone. So like an AI recreation or an animation wouldn't pick that up, but it's a nice little character detail. Kind of reminds me of in Galaxy 4, where we have the surviving episode, so we know that Marga claps her hands in front of one of her clones to wake them up, but in the animation, she just stomps her foot and it's way less interesting. We're grateful to have the animations, but they are compromised.
Could be what happened to Corey.
Oh yeah, of course, this is a sequel to Mission to the Unknown as well, just 5 weeks ago. Nicholas Courtney's great, of course. Chad Courtney, but this other actor whose name escapes me, he's doing well. You really do feel the desperation from him. Yeah, and Brett just leaves him. I know that the film quality isn't pristine perfect, it is like 60 years old, but him going into the back of the frame, into like the opaque darkness, they look good. And this is one of the few surviving clips. Don't know how he doesn't spot the Dalek, but that is such a great shot. What a great introduction to the Daleks in this story. God, yeah, he's all charred and burnt. God, the Space Security Service, they're not sending their best, are they? All of their guys are just getting injured and falling over and dying. Oh, I love that subtitle. Warp, warp. So good. A thing that looks like a police box standing in a jungle.
Splendid. Now you know which switch to pull to close the door, don't you?
See, she's taking this incredibly well, but she does end the Mythmakers thinking that the Doctor is a god. She's just going to uncritically do what he says. I think Adrian Hill's doing a really good job at selling the naivete of Katarina. That sort of camera move around. Looks maxing Hartnell. So expressive. There was a really great interview that Peter Purves has done recently. He was saying that he was acting alongside Hartnell and he was doing some big movements with his body and his arm. And Hartnell afterwards was like, you know, TV screens, only very small, so you don't need to do these big movements. And then Peter would change his approach. Also, it's kind of funny as well how in The Web of Fear, the second Doctor meets the Brigadier in a similar gun-to-the-back hostage situation. Nicholas Courtney, you know, he clearly has that sort of presence. He was a bit typecast. Oh, look, he's on telly. Doctor Who's on telly. That wig. Oh, dear. He has run through the jungle. He looks like a mad scientist. Oh, you can even see the wig line. Here we go.
I don't think you'll be able to get out of there in a hurry, my friend.
Why do they have that chair?
Force field strong enough to restrain a herd of elephants.
Why do you need that? God, he's got such big puppy dog eyes. Oh, I'd recognise that skeleton anywhere. That's Mark Corey. Love it. Although that is quite a big leap in the story structurally. Having him be outside of the forest and then immediately inside of the city, able to sneak past Daleks.
Some tablets in the pouch of my belt. Give him 2.
That's a nice camera move as she kneels down. It is a good bit of expedient storytelling, because Katarina is quite so naive and trusting that she would just do this, whereas if it was, say, Vicky, or Susan, or Barbara, there would be maybe 3.5 episodes of, I don't trust you, why can we give him the tablets? The Daleks are on the telly?
Welcome you. I am honored to be here to conquer Earth and all the planets
See,
in the solar system.
it's framed and performed like he's an established character who the audience should know, but we got very little context for him early on. It's filmed really effectively, but it doesn't quite land as well as it probably intends to. They're trying to like knock it down. Yeah, that was really cool. Really nice atmospheric opener. And the cliffhanger is twofold, even if you don't really feel the impact of Mavic Chen's, quote, betrayal or whatever. You've got that, plus the Daleks trying to get in, plus whether or not you can trust Brett, because Katarina has just done what he says and given Stephen the tablet. So you've actually got like a trifecta cliffhanger there. Good old Dougie. We're going to carry on with that. We're going to watch the next episode, Day of Armageddon. So this episode was found in 2004. It was returned by a former BBC engineer. So because of that, we are able to now watch the first 3 parts, the first quarter, in its entirety of the Daleks Master Plan. Now, I have watched this episode before, just not for a long time. Not since Daleksember.
Inform base security. A further intruder craft has been located.
Is it a plot hole that the Daleks don't recognise the TARDIS? What is that writing? Ah, the adherents of the repeated meme. God, it's kind of mad how episode 1 was in such good condition. Like, you know, this looks and sounds fine, but I think the quality has taken a hit.
I did not attend. And now you know the reason.
I put my hands in a shredder. What are those feet?
Daleks have evolved the most interesting plan.
A master plan, if you will. It has 12 steps. Most of it's missing, however.
But you must admit different times tried to depose you.
Oh, he's sassy. Yeah, you can see the makeup over his eyes. Some intense close-ups, though. I get the sense that Douglas Camfield loved this particular set.
No power in this universe can stop the Daleks.
Yeah, this was like one of the... For years and years, this was the only episode with Katarina in it that survived. Of course, he's encountered them before in The Chase.
Hello,
My lord. Like how Stephen, he's better, but he is just laying there. He is just lounging.
How is this young man?
Yeah, just chilling. God, it looks so cool. So cool. I'm assuming, I've not looked into it, so I could be completely wrong. These pyroflame shots with the Daleks were pre-recorded and then edited in to live, quote, footage of Nicholas Courtney reacting. Because otherwise it would be very, very brave to have as live recordings of the Daleks with flamethrowers in the studio floor.
You might have to. Oh, it's Brett, isn't it?
They are finding each other awfully easily in this massive forest.
These are Daleks. Now you listen to me, young man. I'm in charge of this situation. Will you shut up?
I do like that framing. I'm not gonna pause this too much because I do want this to be a sort of live recording, but the framing here is very deliberate to have the main TARDIS trio, the Doctor, Stephen and Katerina there, so that when Brett interjects, it does feel abrupt and then the frame is pulled back to accommodate him. That's really good direction.
The Daleks are doing something drastic, then we have to stop the Daleks.
I think he forgot his lines here. Yeah, I'm assuming that these are like pre-filmed inserts. Great music. A real great way to showcase the Daleks as a force of nature destroying the environments of the worlds they conquer.
To look back in the history of the year 2157.
So that's the canonical year of the Dalek invasion of Earth in the TV series. That is a very good coat for Stephen. He does look quite dashing.
Into the Dalek city. It's the last place they would expect us to go.
I can't fault the logic. And to be fair, last episode the Doctor somehow managed to get inside undetected. And out again.
The Daleks needed me. We are on equal terms.
I really get the sense Douglas Camfield loved this set, so that you could have this separation between the two. Look at that. What direction were they given? Must be a big set though. I mean, that Dalek took a while to get down that ramp.
Look at that. Beautiful, aren't they?
It's only a model. What are those feet made of? I've got to know. Yeah, they just somehow managed to get into the city with no problem. That black Dalek does look really cool.
I'm going to that conference. Why not? If I wear his cloak, why not? Earth must be warned about the Daleks and about Chen. You are a very brave man. Well, we're doing what has to be done.
God, yeah. Chad Doctor.
As he returned, only the creature from Earth
I like how Mavic Chen is just called Creature from Earth.
will follow me.
Why are your feet so normal? I mean, I'm not complaining. They freaked me out.
You seem lost, Representative Zephon.
I don't remember. Does Mavic Chen already know?
The seventh meeting is now in session.
Meeting 7. God, the Daleks really are committed to administration.
Why were not one of us of the outer galaxies?
They haven't given him false teeth. They have just painted like the edges black so they look like fangs. Oh no, the bald people are back.
Over this spaceship, over there.
This lot have hair. That's how you know they're the good guys. Like the guy with stones on him just climbs up the table. Go, Doctor, go! Get it! Got the Terranium core. Oh no! That's episode 2. Now let's finish this video with part 3, Devil's Planet.
We're going into countdown.
Do 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 do.
The outer door, it's not fully shut.
There's an old man trapped in the door. Oh, it actually is.
Get us off, Brett. Get us off. Get us off.
Oh, whoa. Phrasing, Doctor, phrasing. Like I said, I've not watched this for quite a while. How do they get back to the TARDIS?
Rather violent acceleration, young man.
That's a rather violent wig. Woo! Look at it go.
Speed 3,000.
3,000 what?
Gravity.
Just 3,000.
All is ready for their space extinction.
It's not just like, yeah, they're ready to destroy them. It is a space extinction. What extreme dialogue.
Prepare neutronic randomizer.
Well done, Brett. Well done. You got us off very well.
Once again, Doctor, phrasing.
Had the Daleks made full security arrangements, the invaders would not have reached this city.
True, they got in and out very easily multiple times.
I will leave now.
Exit pursued by a Dalek. He's serving. Very futuristic sunglasses.
You ask so many questions. Look at Katerina over there. She doesn't ask questions. She just looks and learns.
What a lovely moment, just there reaching out to the stars, which, considering what happens next episode, is a pretty haunting bit of foreshadowing.
What type's that? Oh, I found a small tape beside of the skeleton.
Something to do with Death Star plans, something to do with an exhaust port.
Mark, Corey, you found it.
I'm curious how, maybe I missed it if they made it explicit in the dialogue, but I wonder how long, like how much time takes place between Mission to the Unknown and Dalek's master plan.
That is Mark Corey, special security agent.
He's so excited.
The Daleks will stop at anything to prevent us.
Yeah, he forgot his lines again, but he held firm. What does this randomizer do? We're hearing an awful lot about it.
You know, I believe we're approaching the gravitational point of that planet, Desperus.
Devil's Planet.
Desperus is the penal planet of the solar system.
Vessels, instruments, now randomized.
So it literally just like hacks the system and randomizes everything. What a strangely inefficient and imprecise way to attack your enemies.
A highly effective operation.
He just comes in to try and claim all of the glory.
You still haven't recovered the Terranium.
Give him a minute, Mavic. I do love how, over the course of Dalek's master plan, the Supreme Dalek and Mavic Chen go back and forth in regards to, like, their public respect for each other. And there's the great call-out line, I forget which episode, the Supreme says you make your incompetence sound like an achievement.
Their presence on Earth was a constant danger. At any time they could have contacted forces unsympathetic to our plans.
You make your incompetence sound like an achievement.
Which is one of the best Dalek lines ever.
Quite right, my boy. Means they're coming after us again.
That's a really good shot. I think in terms of framing, that might be my favourite shot of the whole thing. It's a shame Katarina's blocked, but that's a really great shot. Sorry, are we back in An Unearthly Child? Excuse me? God, these rugged old men getting beaten on the penal planet. There is a great, like, symbolic bit of storytelling that as this story gets darker and gets more violent, it is, like, the most innocent, most wide-eyed, naive person, Katarina, who gets killed by the prisoners. Like, she's the first one in the story to die.
That's marshy ground. Very interesting.
Is it? I think Katarina is an underwritten role, but Adrian Hill is, she's very good. God, Daleks have such bad audio.
Oh, thank you, my dear. See that switch? I'll tell you when to pull it. You just do as you're told.
You get the sense the Doctor does just kind of like having an extra body around that will just do as he says. He's had so many years of back chat that he's like, finally, someone I can just unambiguously just order around and they're fine with it.
Now you go in and stand by that switch.
Look at that glare. He's about to unleash some hell on Devil's Planet.
What do you think you're playing at?
Just a bit of murder.
Catic power isn't strong enough to kill anyone.
But of
Ah,
course
shame.
not. But it will knock them unconscious. Let's get this cable back.
Surely you'd leave the cable out in case there's more people. Poorly aged things.
Takeoff is now manual. It may not be quite.
Did I just spot a member of the crew through there?
Now manual. It may not be quite so smooth.
Okay, it might just be a reflection from the light. What a gurning face.
Check up on that door and see that it's secure. You do realize...
Oh, maybe there was someone there. Next episode, The Traitors. So, unfortunately, The Traitors, which is Adrian Hill's final episode as well, that has been lost. I really enjoyed that. That was something a bit different, being able to watch these episodes for the first time. That was really good. I think in terms of the story itself, I do need to reevaluate it at some point. I am planning to re-review the Hartnell Dalek stories in the near future. I've been saying that for a while, but I do genuinely intend to do it. It's a good thing that I've put off doing that, because, you know, maybe the longer I put that off, the more episodes of the Daleks Master Plan they'll find. In regards regards to just watching the episode, it was a good time. It moves at a good clip. I've been here for like over an hour. It doesn't feel like an hour has passed with these 3 episodes. This is the opening quarter of a story, and it does already feel like a lot is happening. Like, you do have the delegate meeting, you do have the introduction of Brett, you do have this prison planet, you do have these set pieces. There's a lot going on here. It would be curious to know on a revisitation if it's able to keep up that energy as the production team and as the writers, Terry Nation and Dennis Spooner, as they really try very, very hard to sustain the energy of a 12-part, a 3-month story. This is like week 3 of 12. But it's great to see more of William Hartnell. It's great to get way more of Adrian Hill as Katerina, who I think makes a really good impression in this story, in these episodes. It's a shame that we don't have her final episode here, or her first episode, which is part 4, The Mythmakers, which is the episode that precedes the Daleks' master plan. But, you know, just grateful that we have this at all. Of course, Nicholas Courtney is really good. He actually does add a really interesting, like, wrinkle and a really nice dynamic into the story as this sort of rogue agent who you don't know whether or not to fully trust him. But yeah, Daleks' Master Plan parts 1, 2 and 3, had a really good time with it. I'll definitely be rewatching these again, just like learning more about the production history and, you know, admiring Douglas Camfield's brilliant direction as well, and the work of the production team. Yeah, really fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching this, folks. Let me know if you are going to be checking out these episodes of the Daleks' Master Plan. Let me know where you are as well. Are you watching them internationally on YouTube? Are you watching them in the UK on the BBC iPlayer? And yeah, before we get into any discussion of what episodes could be found next, or animated recreations or whatever, let's appreciate the episodes that we've recently found. I say we, Film is Fabulous, and of course the anonymous benefactor who had this private collection and looked after these 2 episodes. So thank you very much to Film is Fabulous and to that benefactor. Be sure to subscribe for more Doctor Who videos and reactions and reviews and all that good stuff. Be sure to hit the like button because it really helps me out. And also recently, YouTube members and patrons have got early access to my next big edited video, which will be dropping next week. But the plan is now for the foreseeable future, every 2 weeks there'll be a big video on the channel, and patrons and members will get that a week early, and they'll also get their name in the credits of the public final uploaded version. So be sure to check me out there if you want to support my channel. And folks, I'll see you all next time.